Hello, welcome to Bacchus Occupational Medicine. I'm Dr. Karandikar, the Medical Director of the Occupational Medicine Program. We are glad that you are here with us today. As you probably know, musculoskeletal injuries account for a huge part of workers' comp injuries. Sprains, strains, repetitive motion injuries, they can take you away from your work, they can cause significant lost time, and who likes to be sore? So today what we are going to do is we are going to go over some basic ergonomic lifting, etc. principles. I hope you take these principles in your daily life. I'm going to now start with our first tip of the day. I'm going to introduce Jeff, our physical therapist here in the Occupational Health Program. Tip number 1, safe lifting techniques. As you can see, Jeff here is bent over the box trying to lift it up. That's wrong. Jeff, go ahead and stand up. Okay. You see, this produces a lot of load on the spine. So the correct technique is he's going to squat, bend at his knees, lift the load up, keep the load close to his body, and then lift it up. This is the safe lifting technique. The safe zone of the body is between one's shoulders and one's waist. Any load above and below this zone is dangerous. So now we are going to go to tip number 2. Tip number 2, turn your feet, not your back. What do we mean by that? Jeff is going to try to place this box to his side. Watch, this is wrong. He's twisting his back. If you do this repetitively enough throughout the day, you are definitely going to have a strain and sprain of your back. So let's show you the correct technique. This time, Jeff is going to keep the boxes to his side by turning at his feet so that he faces the direction where he wants to keep the object. Take assistance in lifting and carrying weights over 50 pounds. If you are somebody with a smaller frame and height, take assistance with lower loads. You might want to reach something above your head. This is not the correct way of doing it. Look how he's stretching. He's hyperextending his arms and he's bent at his back. The correct way of doing these things is to try to get as close to the object as you can. See what you're grabbing. Hold the object with 2 hands. If you can't reach, take a step stool. Take the object close to your body and then keep it down. Sitting at your chair in your office, what's the correct way of doing that? First, your elbows and your forearms. Your upper arms and forearms should be at right angles to each other. Feet planted firmly to the ground. Your thighs and your lower legs should be at right angles to each other. Don't slouch. Your back should be straight. The rule of thumb I use for computer screen heights is that the center of your screen should be roughly just below your eyes or at the tip of your nose. Now, let's say you want to reach out for something. The common rule of thumb is that the objects that you need more frequently should be within your half an arm's length. For example, this coffee cup that Jeff is now holding. The objects that you need less frequently should be at 1 arm's length. Just like that. That's correct. Next, use a power grip, not a pincer grip. What do I mean by that? Let's say Jeff wants to pick this box up from the table. What he's doing now is he's using a pincer grip. What happens with a pincer grip is if the load is strong enough, heavy enough, it's going to produce elicit stress on his tendons. Instead, what he's going to do is he's going to pick it up with both his hands and use a power grip so that his palm and his fingers are supported. For all you healthcare workers out there, let's go to our typical hospital room.
So when working at the bedside with the patient, you have 2 options. You can bring the patient up to your level by using the machines that are built into the bed to raise and lower the patient. That way I can be as close as I can to the patient. I don't have to bend over at my back. Instead, I can be keeping a neutral position on my spine while doing what I need to do with my patient. And if I do have to move, I'm going to be taking steps with my feet, and if I have to lower my body, I'll be bending at my knees. And if you can't bring the patient up to your level, you want to bring yourself to them by bending your knees, maintaining that lower back lordosis by squatting down and doing what I need to do with her. It takes a little more work on your part, but it'll save your back in the future. So if I'm doing a blood draw and I can't raise her up, I'll do it from here. When rolling a patient, there are many considerations. Obviously, any orthopedic issue they may have, whether it's their back or their hip or their knees. But if you can, you'd like to have them bend their knees a little bit. And if you're doing this by yourself, we prefer you to have help, because that's a patient that's, no offense, but the patient is usually more than your lifting ability. So we want you to get as close as you can, hands on the hips and the shoulder, and roll together as a log. And then same with going the other direction. And again, you can see I am using my legs and not bending over at my back.
That's all we have, folks. On behalf of our Department of Occupational Medicine, we wish you all the best for a healthy and successful career. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for your participation today.
My pleasure.
All the best. Bye-bye.